the greenhouse today. We've got more transplanting, but we also got a special guest today. We're going to get into this. This is a import from Europe that a good friend of mine, a business partner, has, and she asked me to get this into a new transplant to get it taken care of. We're going to cover exactly what this is. Just got this today, so I'm excited for that. Again, for those that don't know, my name is Ryan Howe. I come here live in the greenhouse, out in the garden, out doing yard work here on the homestead pretty consistently, typically Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays out here live. Normally on mobile, I do long form. We also, every now and again, we hop on the, basically going to be the long form, the horizontal chat as well too. When we're doing planting, which we have a lot of seeds that we have to get, but currently we are transplanting. We got all of our starts from earlier that now to be transferred into larger pots, and we're kind of in the middle of that right now. So yeah, so welcome. Good to have you all on here. So good to see everyone. Um, Again, lots of stuff that we're going to be going through today as we are working through this. Just trying to get my feet up on this side so I can keep up with the chat. That's the big piece here. So, where am I? Normally I'm like right. Come on now. Let's go. Yeah, but we got a lot of stuff to get into here. I'll just keep chatting while there we go. I exist as a person on the internet. Here I am. Okay, great. Cool. So, what do I have here currently? So we'll get to this in a little bit, but right here on this guy, right here, these are my lettuces that we had the other day. We were on here. So, we were on here getting started with these. And, I transplanted quite a few and kind of show you to kind of get started. And this is what we'll be doing live. We're going to be walking through just kind of how to do this and what this is all about, this section here. So it's a lot of good fun. We've got a few that we need to do. I've got to transplant this guy as well. So, hey, Don, good to see you. Hey, welcome. Hopefully you're having a good day today. It's we're back to more snowing outside. A lot of stuff going on, but yeah, just keep it on rolling here. Oh, by the way, I talked to my developer on the online ordering for coffee for the coffee shop, and he and I are going to be having a conversation this week. I got a little bit of work. We got a little work we have to do still to make sure it's going to be right for us, just because we're integrating a couple things. That being said, it's in the works. So thanks for reminding about that so I can get you an update. So, all right. And yeah, I'm super excited too. Like I was saying, again, Lisa got me this, and we're going to talk about what this is here. And this is going to be transplanted later. It's going to be the last thing we're really going to be doing here today. I just want to make sure I got enough for my couple lettuces that we have going here, and then just go from there. So, all right. Get this guy out of here. And yeah, a big part of this, guys, is that yeah, I will absolutely. I'll make sure I'll put something in the channel's post. I'll post it to the channel, and you'll see. I'll probably put a short out too, just so folks can know as well. It's not like I have a huge number of followers. I think I'm at like just under 2,200 now, which is amazing to me, because this time last year I was at not even 500 maybe. So the jump up is pretty cool. So all right, so we are in the middle of getting our transplants done on our lettuce here, getting them squared away. And like I said, again, we'll go back to this. We're going to start from the beginning, and we do this step by step every time, guys. So just to make sure, if we got new folks here, by the way, if you're new, again, let us know where you're at in the chat. Hop in there and let us know. I'm in Northern Michigan. We got folks in Florida. We got folks from the UK. We have individuals from around the world that all hop in here, and we all just share information on how to do better at gardening. Again, I'm not a master gardener. Been doing it for a while though. And I just share some of the tips and tricks, but I also come here when I'm working so that we can have a conversation. It's good stuff, So, so what we're starting with here is pretty straightforward. I actually have a mix that we put together. It's a mixture of potting soil and cocoa core, which is coconut husk that's been ground and pressed and really made into fine. And it's hey, we got another Florida person on there. Awesome. Please, between you and Don, if you can just take some of that warmth and heat and send it up here to Michigan, I would take it, because right now it's 25-mile-an-hour winds, and it's not like it's the annoying snow. It's the little like pebbly, just bleh snow, and it's just it's right here. It's all hitting against me. So I take whatever you can send me. It'd be great. Okay. So, but yeah, and also do me a favor when you hop in the chat or hop in here, and I really appreciate it. Obviously, I'd love to earn your subscription today. That'd be great. But if you can at least give me a thumbs up in the thumbs up, it helps the algorithm, gets more people on here, and we get more, cool stuff going on in the chat. So that'd be great. So, so anyways, we have the cocoa core that we're using there. and it comes in a block just like this. We're going to add water to it, and it breaks down, and we mix it in with the potting soil. And again, my potting soil, I'm a simple man, because I don't like to, and this stuff has worked for me for years, and I just keep on buying it. And that is really the extent. And again, this is for what I have for seed starting. And then, oh, hey, what's happening, Howard? Yeah, so we're going to be transplanting some of my seeds, or basically my lettuce starts that I have. I'm moving them into some larger, basically into pint containers right now. So we're going to be going through. There's a lot of folks that are new to gardening or haven't done it, aren't really there. And that's a big part of this channel, is we go through all the steps on everything that we do here. So we want to make sure that, this is what we're here to do. We're just going to show you exactly what I do. And that's why I come live here as well. It's like I even ran, I have a Cat 6 cable that if I need to connect my computer to make sure that we're good, but I actually have Wi-Fi in my garden, just on the other side of the greenhouse here, so we can have all this fresh stuff going. It's great. It's good stuff. So, but yeah, hopefully I earn your subscription today. So matter of fact, let me do this. I don't know if is this going to be in the way? I don't know. Kind of put that out there to see if that'll be something to kind of help here. I don't know. But yeah, anyways, let's get into this here. So we've gone through and we've done our mix. Now, the big thing with your mix, guys, and I just want to remind everybody on this, when you have your potting soil and your, the cocoa core, whenever you're starting with your seed starting stuff here, Germany. Oh, awesome. Hey. No. Hey, listen, by the way, yeah, your English is much better than my German. Had that conversation the other day. You're good. So with the seed starter, one of the things I recommend is always pre-moisten it in the bucket here first. You can just dump water on it, mix it up, and just let it do its thing. That's going to just make it easier when you're putting them into, when you are placing them specifically, it's going to be a pain. I can't have that there. We'll just put it here, right there. When you're doing your cells, right? Because one of the things that we're trying to avoid specifically when we are getting stuff set up is we don't want to have in our cells any air gaps. And that's one of the things that you get when you have the dry potting mix, potting soil, or your seed starter, is that when you place it in there, there's a tendency for like air gaps, because it's, it's got structure to it. So when it's moistened, it's more likely to be able to just kind of compress it down and not have as many air gaps. Because what we don't want with air gaps, right, is here you go, you got your roots are growing down, right, and they're doing their thing, right, and then they're pushing through, all of a sudden they hit an air gap, they got nowhere to go, and they start expending extra energy trying to figure out and adjust the roots or push new roots out or whatever. Also, it's a place that water can wick from. It's a different thing, instead of growing. Okay, so we want to make sure that soil is in there, and then pre-moistening it allows you to be able to get in and really make sure that you're going to give it your best shot. And there's other methodologies that we go through too. Okay, so anyways, we've got our, oh, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Awesome. Thank you. So with that, we've got our cells that we had here, and this is just lettuce that I have. It's a butter type lettuce. I always have lettuce growing and stuff growing all the time. We're gonna have even more here. It's gonna be kind of ridiculous how much stuff I have growing here. Growing when I was younger, but I got people for that now. I have other people that I trade with to get, I have greens, they have greens. We just do a little swap and everything's good. So there's a lot of channels you can actually see on the YouTube as well if you want to learn more about that. But okay, so a couple questions. -16. Yeah, so I'm in Northern Michigan right now. I think it's 30 degrees here in Freedom units. I'm not sure. I think that's like -2, -1, -1.5 if I was at the continent. I'm not sure. So when you talk about the best plant to grow during this, so the best, again, this time of year everything we're doing right now that's in my greenhouse, and we're going to look at my stuff here in a little bit, guys, has to do with, is for my early spring planting. Okay, and I've got beets, I got carrots, we've got brassicas, we got lettuces, we got onions, which we started. And these are my lettuces that I just have going. I like to have greens available for me, but also for my chickens. So we like to kind of keep those rolling. The other thing that's too great about lettuce, again, for those that if you've never, if you're looking to get started, lettuce is a really great, just the simple ones like your butter lettuce, your black-seeded Simpson, not romaine. Romaine is really picky, but if you can find like a butter lettuce, black-seeded Simpson, Oh, what's some other ones that I've got here? There's cress. I'll show you the ones we have here. Crestos endive is really good. Yeah, and then if you get them rolling, get those started, they do really well. They have a high, they survive well and they thrive, especially in cooler climates. So it's a good spot for you there. Um, Good morning, everyone. That's awesome. Hey, do me a favor when you guys hop in the chat. Just a reminder, please let us know where you're from. We got folks from all over the world right now on here, so just let us know. It's always great to hear. We got people growing calories everywhere. So, I did build all this stuff. This is a kit greenhouse 6x6x16 I got from Wayfair. I built all the tables. Yeah, I build everything out here. So, look at that Clearwater, living your best life. Oh, with romaine, so for me personally, I have a hard time. Romaine is very difficult for me to get to germinate and grow properly. Especially it's just one of those things I have a challenge with. And for a lot of folks, romaine is really picky. It's just one difficult thing. So I always try to get people started with get people started with that here. So again, when you talk about tomatoes, what I say is if you can't keep the temperature really above 65 to 70 degrees, and you need to have like 8 hours of solid sun. If you don't have that happening in the next 6 weeks, probably don't want to start your tomatoes. They're really fickle about that. Same thing like cucumbers and some of these squashes and stuff. They really need warm temperatures and a lot of sun. So just keep that in mind. So, let's see here. Ooh, Palm, look at you guys. That's awesome. Yeah, awesome guy. Man, we got people all over. Welcome, everyone. Woo! We say tomato. Some people say tomato. I know, right? It's all over. All right, so let's get into this here, guys. So we're going to start working on this. So again, the lettuces that we have here are from the Organo Republic. Again, not sponsored here by Organo Republic. Again, always though, Organo Republic. I know you're going to see one of these days, and you're going to offer me a sponsorship. I will definitely take that. But these are all from the Organo Republic pack. It's a 55 pack. You can see a video if you go to my page, the channel page, where I did a review on all 55 seeds that are there and what's involved in the pack. I really like just doing that because they have good germination rate. They're good survivability. They taste, everything that they've given me is done really well and tasted great. So I just keep going back to them. But I also come with this really cool little kit. It comes in it, right? With all these little tools and everything, which are perfect for me in the greenhouse here. Comes this little Scoopy deal thing. Comes with a, I'll get to the question on what I heat my greenhouse with here in a second. I got this little seed dibber, right? And what this does is it allows you to meter how deep your seeds will go. Plus, it comes with some tweezers. I won't show the tweezers. You guys know what tweezers look like. And then it comes with these little pruning things for in the greenhouse here, so I can get down just into the plants here and help thin them out. They're really, really good. Really like them. And I also just like being able to do that too. So, all right. So let's see here. All right, had a question here from Northern Wisconsin. What do I heat my greenhouse with? That's a great question. So down here, I actually have a little heater that I use. It's a Vivo Sun, so it's VIVO. It's right down below me here. VIVO Sun. I got it off of Amazon. It's like $34, probably $1 million with inflation now, but it was like 34 bucks when I got it. And it comes with a thermostat that you attach it to, that I keep the greenhouse at like 42 degrees here. So overnight, right? It just stays at 42 degrees. And then if we do get the sun, everything warms up to 60, give or take in here. Because I don't have warm weather crops in here. And I have cooler weather, spring stuff. So it does just fine as long as it doesn't get below freezing. Even, it's fine. It keeps it at 42. And then during the day, it gets its light, gets its warmth, and we're off to the races. So with that, I don't, with the products that we have here, guys, I don't actually sell any of this to restaurants or anything. This is what I grow here is for my families, for my chickens, and also for my neighbors. I have a very small little, it's 10 foot by 6 foot. It's a vegetable stand that I put out starting in March. It'll be out in my yard, and I just put whatever vegetables I have available for my neighbors, and it's donation only. I don't, if they want to leave money, they can. They don't have to. I just want calories for me, and I want calories for my neighbors. We're in a bit of a food desert here when it comes to fresh food, and I have a lot of seasoned citizens around me. And folks, I'm in a very poor part of Michigan. I'm blessed for the work that I do. I make decent money, and I want to be able to give back where I can. And this is one of the ways that I do it, is simply by my hobby, but I enjoy doing it. But I like making calories. I love growing calories, and this is my way of giving back. So yeah, it's not a market farm. So within that case, I've had folks ask if I'd be willing to produce, and I'm just not. That's not this guy. I don't want that to be what I do with this. I enjoy doing it. I do, it does pay for the seed fund is really what it is. It covers seeds and like trays and stuff, all the money that I make from the stand. So, oh, thank you very much for the donation. Thank you. Again, why don't I grow some to go back so by the way, my wife and I, the redhead, we laugh about this all the time. I answer this question probably 40 times every stream. I don't need to grow any sort of electric lettuce here, any sort of Jane. I can just trade. I got people for that. You know what I mean? We specialize. I got folks for that. I got this, and we do stuff. So for mushrooms, that's a great question here. All right, so with that, I'm going to answer questions while we're doing this here. Okay, so we got the way that I do my transplants is pretty straightforward when we're doing this. I actually just do a scoop to fill it all the way up. I just dump out the excess, right, down to this little bit. And on these Bonnies, and again, you'll find your own little spot here where you'll have it. But I have it down here, and you're just going to push just lightly. You want to compact the soil a little bit down here. We got some sage from the sewer roots, and I'm wondering if it's too young or what I would say. Hey, by the way, it's a good question on the so mushrooms as I'm talking about this. Okay, so we push this down. We want to have this just compressed. Remember, we're trying to get rid of any sort of the air pockets that are in here. Okay, and then we're going to push down in the middle. Just do a little push, right? And there's a little spot in there. We'll talk about what that's for in a second. To answer questions in the chat, one of the things that I do is when it comes to mushrooms, I take wine cap mushroom starter or whatever it's called, and I get it from, there's a company in Portland, Maine that does it. You can find it on Amazon. And I just throw it in my garden, and it goes through the cycle, and I get wine cap mushrooms that way. So they pop up in my garden. We can have them, chow down. It's really good. When it comes to sage, one of the things I would tell you, just the stuff that you get from the supermarket, just understand that stuff's usually already basically dead. Just because of the way it was grown, it's very difficult to get it to take. Your best bet, again, depends if it was from like the the produce section. If it was from like the Mega Mart when all of the plants are out and they have sage, that's a little bit different. Then what I would say is when you get sage, you want to have, like with any herb, you want to give it a good chance to get a good root ball and good root setup before you move it outside. That'd be the biggest thing. So my soil mixture that we use here is a mixture of, I've just got regular old like Miracle-Gro potting mix and cocoa core, the coconut husk. I do like a 60-40 mix simply to get things going and have it here because everything is going to be in my garden as soon as I can. Like that's the bigger piece, okay? So awesome. Thank you everybody who's good chat today, guys. Give yourselves like big high fives. This is awesome. Keep it coming here. We love it. Did I just... All right. Yeah, welcome. All right, I had a little bit of a pause there. Okay, so what we're going to use is we're use this tool. And now you can use a spoon, guys, but it comes with this. I always like this little tool. And it's really designed, and it comes with that pack, just to go directly in here, right into your 1-inch little cells here and pop the stuff out. So we're going to take a look here. Do I try to engineer? No, I don't. It's, like I said, everyone's got their specialty. Mine is simply just on, I try to do my stuff so on this channel, I try to keep it as beginner to intermediate as possible, right? And then there's a few advanced things that I might do, but they may or may not, but it's specific for like what I do within my area. So I always try to do beginner and other stuff. So, so mushroom time, it kind of varies. Are you talking like for mushrooms for foraging or for stuff that I grow out in the garden? Because I'll put my stuff out in the garden right around August timeframe. I'll get it out there, mix it up. I've got some leaves that piles of leaves and everything that I have like leaf mold where I'll put stuff into as well, but it's in the shade so I can do it at a different time. But usually I'll have the wine caps be popping up sometime around end of September, October timeframe for us here. It's a little bit different. Refrigerated, mostly dead except for the roots, but then and some new leaves. Perfect. All right. Hey, so what you just said about you got the roots and you're getting it, fantastic. Yeah, just again, what I would definitely say is make sure it's getting a nice mixture of sun and then darkness. especially when you have a transplant on that. One thing that I've done in the past and it's worked really well is now you're already got the point where you got the leaves come up, but if you have that happen again, when you transplant anything, just stick it in the dark for a little while. It just seems to help the plant kind of be calm and do its thing as it's going through the motions. And then and it seems to let the root structure kind of get set and overall for the plant. So it's good stuff. That's awesome. Good, good, good. What kind of like the temperature here? So we grow we do really well with tomatoes here. Now so for me, where I'm at in Northern Michigan, I'm actually in zone 7B. We're subtropical here during the growing season. It's wild that we go from I was out here and it was like 1 degree the other day, snow and blowing and just terrible. And then by the time it's actually growing season, technically, right, for the summer season, it's 80, 85, 80% humidity, light winds, sunshine all the time. Like we turn into subtropical. So it's kind of wild. No medicinal. All right. Okay. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm at. So I grow all sorts of I can grow heirloom tomatoes. So there's beefsteak that come up. I do Romas. I do what did we do the other? San Marzano we did. I do some cherries, Roma, so they all do well here. And then I've got some Campari, which they're about yay big or so. I get them at the grocery store, and I actually harvest the seeds and I plant those guys as well, start those up. And those are really good just to have around. So lots of stuff here. Yeah, there's really not we don't really have any sort of like major, like, even if it's excessively hot out and I know that's going to be a thing, I just run the sprinklers and just give them, that's the biggest thing. If I need to, I can throw some cover out because of the way my garden's set up, but most of the time I just let it go. They're fine. They're good. All right, so we're going to be start our transplant here. Good questions, guy. Thank you very much. Awesome. So again, appreciate everybody hopping in the chat. Make sure, again, if I haven't earned your subscription today, that would be great. And if I haven't earned your subscription yet, if you could at least hit the thumbs up, that would be fantastic. That pushes me towards the algorithm out to some more folks. So I would love that. Thank you for that if you can do that. All right. So my garden outdoors is 25 by 50. I have a whole bunch of raised beds that I'll do cucumbers, some tomatoes and other stuff. I have strawberries in a raised bed. I have a tiny little orchard on one side of my house. I'm going to be adding more raised beds on the side of the house so I can produce more calories for the neighborhood. So, we got it going. Yeah, salvia, once you get it going, it's usually pretty good. We'll put it that way. Okay. All right, so with this, you can see the cell comes out here. We want to take a look at the root structure on this. You guys can see. So what we're looking for whenever we're pulling these out is we want to see the roots going down, right? We want to see as much vertical root growth as we can. We don't want to see horizontal. And, on yesterday's chat, and we always talk about this, when you see horizontal, specifically when you're going anything inside of these cells, the roots want to just grow. But when you have it horizontal and you don't fix that by just cutting down, and that's all you have to do. If you see any horizontal, you just kind of run a knife or run your finger down to break them up. What ends up happening, that root will grow around the actual other roots of the plant and start strangling it off a little bit. So we always try to avoid that if all possible. The only heirlooms that I currently have, bratwurst and sauerkraut. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good life right there. I was going to say here, we had, when it comes to heirloom tomatoes, really the only heirlooms that I have are beefsteak. That's the main one that I have is beefsteak. So once we get the pot in here, guys and gals, what we're going to do is we're just going to fill it in, right? All that stuff that we just took off the top. We're just going to refill it in here around the sides and just give it a press. Okay. And we want to compress it lightly around there, because what we want to have is we want it to dome a little bit, but not too much, because we don't want to have too much of the plant sticking out above. So I'll kind of show you what I mean here. All right, we want to have just the tiniest little bit of dome there, just like that. It's got that little bit of dome sticking up, because you don't want to have it more than really like this much. I'd say like a 1/4 inch, because you end up with, there's roots that are in there, and if they're not at ground level, it's going to be, it's a waste of that root structure. Okay. So, all right, what do we got here? All right, hey, welcome everybody. Good to see. Good to see everyone. Animal manure. Yes, I have chickens for my animal manure. I also have a 4-section compost bin system that I have that I put together. You will see more of that again if you subscribe and you follow. You'll see me out there starting probably in March, breaking up my compost, restarting it again, getting it re-energized, so that way I can put it out in the garden. And what I do is I put compost and leaves on top of my garden. I do everything I can not to till. I do have till sometimes. It's just because I have these big chunks of clay I got to work. But beyond that, I have a broad fork where I constantly am loosening up the soil, and the compost and all the goodness works its way down. Okay, so lots of good stuff. Good stuff, guys. All right, so anyways, here we got this one here done, and we're just gonna kind of keep on grinding here for a little bit. Keep on moving. So these guys are good. This guys have come up. That guy didn't enjoy that at all. Okay, where is? I should have. Oh, here we go. Gotta get my next one up here. Next lettuce container up. Let's clear this out. I have got, by the way, after the stream today, guys, I have got organization and cleanup duty because I am behind on my cleanup and organization here. It's getting a little bit wonky in here, you know what I mean? So, okay, great question on the water supply. Water supply. So I actually have a well. I have well water here in Michigan, and it's good water. It's got all the good stuff in there. So it's one of the things I don't necessarily have to worry about, and that's something just to keep in mind. It's a good question. If you have, with your water, if you have too much chlorine in there, it can always be an issue. Okay. So, all right. So what we're gonna do is same thing we did before. We loaded up the top, took out the stuff we want to have the top, and we're just gonna give this a light tap down on the side here. Okay. Nice and light, and we're gonna make a little hole in the middle. Now, again, to show you what that little hole in the middle is for, let's grab this guy here. And let's see what we got. Again, as a reminder, folks, don't forget to let us know where you're from in the chat. We always love to see where folks are from. You hop in, let us know. So the big reason we do that hole is for all those roots. Wanting a little spot where they can go and just kind of settle in without getting too cramped. It's kind of the idea. Just set them in there and then push the soil back around them. They did their job. They're there. The other thing is that toss that in the chicken pile. I always any extra greens that I have, it always goes to the chickens afterwards. What do we got here? Reverse osmosis, good. And all right. And then again, just like we did before, we're going to take the soil and just kind of put it around there. And don't worry about manhandling too much or abusing these seedlings per se. As again a reminder, this is seedling stage, although they're starting to get into the basically into the veg state, which is when plants grow, they go from basically from seed to germination to seedling, right? Then there's veg, fruit, and then harvest, and they're done. Okay. And the big thing is that keep in mind the seed has everything it needs to get going. And that's really where you're going from the germination stage. Once it gets water and the temperature and the sun and whatever, if it's a sunlight component as well too, it'll take off and do its thing. It's once it gets into its second set of leaves, you start going, once it's grown, you're into the seedling, and then it'll move into the veg state. And there's a big difference you can just tell between veg state and the seedling, because this thing will double in like a matter of a couple days. And that's when it's made that transition. Okay. There's a little more sciencey stuff with there, but that's kind of the eyeball it here. All right. The chickens, honestly, the chickens love everything. I can throw anything at the chickens, will have it. However, this time of year, they want greens. They are desperate for greens because everything's covered in snow right now. So any chance I can get to give them, fresh greens like this, they're pretty excited. To be honest, when I'm at the store, I'm always looking for like the discount frozen peas, corn. Corn's not green, I know that. We're trying to think here, the green beans, the broccoli, cauliflower, stuff like that I can, spinach. Then when it's on sale and I buy a bunch, I just throw it in the microwave, defrost it, and I'll give them that just so they have some greens coming in, some fresh stuff on the cheap. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Arugula, yeah. Honestly, my chickens, so one thing I like about my chickens too is that I let them loose in the garden. they help break. They basically help clear out my garden in the fall. I just let them loose. They tear apart the whole thing. The one thing I can tell the stuff they don't like celery. It took them forever to even start chomping on the celery. They don't like artichoke. They actually like artichoke to nest under and chill because of how big they are and all the shade they get. But they do not like the taste of it at all. They would not go anywhere near it. So so currently I'm down a chicken. I had one of them passed away the other day when I came home, and it was just Betty White, one of my silkies, just didn't make it. Chickens, sometimes they just die. It is what it is. Obviously, thoughts and prayers for Betty out there living there, went into the compost pile, to be quite honest. That's where she went. But they usually produce this time of year, not many eggs. I might get one or two a day of the 5 that I have left. So I'm getting like 1 to maybe 2. During the summer, they'll lay 2 I'll go out there and sometimes I'll have 7, 8 eggs because they're producing a bunch of eggs, kind of a thing. So, but yeah, and again, the chickens, they're there to help take care of some extra food that I have, right? So we're not wasting, and also for fertilizer. That's where I have it. So you can see here on the side, we'll give you a look here. You can just kind of see that root structure, right? That's good, healthy root structure. It's sending out some feelers, but it's not the main roots going around. So that's good stuff. That's what we want. Okay, place it in there. Just kind of go. Oh yeah, watermelon. Yep. Yeah, during the heat, when it's hot out, I mean, I'm picking them up some cheap melons all the time. They love cantaloupe. I can put a cantaloupe in front of them, and it's honestly, I'll lose fingers if I'm anywhere near them. They will just go start pecking away like crazy. They go to town. Okay. So again, we've got just the tiny little bit of mounding on there, but we got everything placed nice and centered. It's going to look good. Now, here's the thing, guys. Now, this has been moistened, right? This has got, again, my name's Ryan. For everybody who's just joining, welcome. I'm here in Northern Michigan. We're just transplanting some stuff today. Kind of just, I'm out here doing my work and just hanging out with everybody. So it's good to have you on here. Hopefully I earn your subscription today. And if I haven't earned your subscription, hit that thumbs up button. Helps the algorithm, gets me out to more folks. And if you want to hop in the chat, just let us know where you're from, and then we can go from there. Okay, so this has been pre-moistened, but I don't top water my plants. Everything goes into these 10-20 trays, so that way I can just bottom water and it'll wick up through there. Okay, so just FYI. Once everything's established, it really changes in the greenhouse. Once I don't have to have the warming pads, and I don't need lights, and I don't really need electricity out here, and everything's kind of established, I just bring in the hose in here and just go to town. But most of the time, it's gonna be a while till I can do that right there. So no, I'm in the lower peninsula. No helpers for me. I'm in the lower peninsula, near Ludington. Again, it's hard to say. I live like right here, for those that know what the state looks like. Just right here, right by Lake Michigan. It's like 10 miles that way. Actually, from here, it's like 9. But so it's good stuff. Thank you, everybody who has hit their thumbs up. I definitely appreciate that. This is good stuff. All right, so where the heck are the rest of my bonnies at? I know they're around. Well, all right, we'll just switch over. So again, different style, still a pint. We're just going to kind of keep on rolling here. Put these guys in. And then I do have this one. We still got a transplant. I'm going to talk about this guy here in a little bit. I had a friend of mine. We are working on this. We're going to be transplanting that plant. We got it from the continent over in Europe, and we're going to be setting that up. So she asked for some help with that. It's going to be good stuff. Do a transplant on that. All right. So one of the things that we talk about on here at length too is that there's folks that have been doing gardening for a little bit, or are just thinking about getting into it. The biggest thing, and it's one of the things that we talk about on the channel quite a bit here, is we don't worry about things. It's okay to be concerned, be concerned and want to do things the right way, but under no circumstances should you ever be worrying about any of this. All right, worrying attracts squash bugs is kind of what we say, so we just don't do that here. But the biggest thing is that you're gonna do everything right sometimes, and your plants are still gonna die. It just happens. Okay, so try not to over invest in it, and if things don't go well, you can always plant again. Like, that's the beauty of this stuff here. Okay. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I hope it's a good growing season. I absolutely, yeah, same here. We had a banger of one last year. Yeah, exactly. Failure is the key to success. Don't be afraid to try. I love it I was on a leadership panel. That's a great point. A leadership panel on Friday for my local community, talking with seniors. Just one of the business people that were up there. And, one of the things that I told the young men and women that were there is that, don't be, I never be afraid of making mistakes, because mistakes happens when you're doing things. The vast majority of people don't do anything, so they don't make mistakes. So we want to be making mistakes. It means we're doing stuff, with one caveat, that we pay attention to the mistakes, what happened, and try to do better. Okay. That's the big thing, but don't worry about it. I'm a big fat failure I've failed so many things in my life, but I've been successful in quite a few things as well too. Right. The idea here is to just learn from them. Okay. So look at that taproot on that, guys. Look at the size of that thing. That's awesome. Love that. Get that down in there, set them into space. Get this next spot here. No, that was great. Good point on there. Thank you for sharing that. We love that. Okay. So again, got our good stuff here. Just continuing on. And like I was saying, this year we have so much in the way of, we're going to do one more, then we're going to take a break, look at the seedlings that we have going on. We're going to transplant our big boy over here, and then we're going to do a few more of these. We got one more I want to do here. One more. And I have to pay it, by the way, I have to pay attention on these, because I have mice that sometimes on the singles that are by themselves have set up shop in here, and I'll look down and I'll have an entire little nest with seeds in there. And one year where I wasn't paying attention, I was zipping along. So I had a little mouse nest at the bottom and a whole bunch of sunflower seeds that I had just been harvesting and keeping. This thing, but I don't remember what I had planted, but all of a sudden I looked over one day and it was like this whole bouquet of sunflower starts. I was like, what the heck happened here? And so obviously I took it apart to see, and whoopsies, had a thing. So, all right, hold on, let me help real quick. Okay, there we go. So again, let's get after here. So again, these are just lettuces that we're doing, folks. Anybody that happens to be joining, welcome. My name's Ryan. Again, our goal that we have here is simply just getting these transplanted, and I've got a few more I got to do, and then we got some other stuff. All right, so we press down and we're seeding all of our soil down, making sure it's firm. We're not compacting it, just pressing it down to seed it, making a little hole in there, because we're going to have this guy right here. I think this will be our next one. There's a few of them in here. This guy's not gonna make the cut anyway, so let's just be done with them. And you'll see, again, we want to make sure we can protect all of those roots that are going in there. Okay, that's the idea. So we just have a little pocket we stick it into. We decide who's gonna make the cut and who isn't. And this guy, unfortunately, bless his heart, is going to the chickens. There we go. And then we're gonna plant. Now, one thing on this, especially with lettuce, we talked about it yesterday. Lettuce has this thing when it grows, it pops up, does a little hook type of thing, and then it'll pop back up again. So you want to make sure this is buried to the second hook, like a little S thing going on, just like this. We want to bury it right to this spot here, okay, when we're transplanting. And it's fine if you miss it, the plant adjusts. It's fine. It knows what it's doing. They've gotten along for millennia without us, so they know what's up. All right, so there you go. Got to bury it right there. All right, so let's take a look at some of the stuff we have going here. Again, we've been looking at the lettuce. Put that to the side here. I'm gonna just. You guys probably can't hear that, can you? Holy moly, that wind just picked up. I can't even see out. I don't want to see out. I don't even want to see how bad it probably is. We probably got all of the snow hitting us right now. Okay, anyways. So let's take a look at some of the stuff we've been growing here. And yeah, let's just do that real quick. So I got some brassicas that are started. And this is to show you that even within the same plant, they are different in the way they get rolling here. Okay, so I got a couple brassicas that are going. I got some on this side here. I've got some, let's see if I got here. So I've got, I'm trying to remember right now. I turned it around. That's right. So we've got kale and broccoli, and then it's cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. And the Brussels sprouts, I've only got a couple to come up, and that's okay. Not a big deal. I'm going to restart some of those here next week, get them going. But these that are going, we're going to transplant these as well. Give them a chance to kind of get going and getting big, because we definitely want those out. We love our brassicas. And again, brassicas are Like I said, they're your cauliflower, they're your broccoli. They are, actually, your cauliflower, your broccoli. Oh, was that rokabi, Brussels sprouts, and kale? They're all the same plant. Like they're the same. They've just been bred to be different. One of them's for these type of leaves, one's for the flowers, one's for X, Y, and Z. Okay, so they're all the same thing. This we definitely will be tomorrow. I might even do some of these today just to get them there. All right, this is a bunch of lettuces. I got some endive. We got some other lettuces going. And then we have where you can see the red stalks on there. I don't know if you guys can see that too well. Those are that's Swiss chard. That's like my favorite green. I love Swiss chard. It is so good. It's so delicious. Makes me happy. So we're probably going to transplant some, get some of those moving today too. In fact, while this is here, this guy looks a little dry. Give him a little taste of water real quick. Okay, so there's that. So one of the things we started, and it's always interesting to see, and we're getting a couple going here right now. This is, you can't really see a couple on there, but this is celery. This is 4,050 celery seeds. Okay, now celery is notoriously, takes forever to germinate. It's just a pain, and it grows in bunches and everything. You can just cram it all together. And I'm going to have it in here, and it takes about, honestly, it takes about 12 weeks, 10 to 12 weeks for it to be ready to transplant out in the garden, which means right around March, it'll be ready to go, just the time when I want to have it out there. So radish is absolutely a cold weather plant, and I direct seed radish because radishes grow pretty quick. They're 30 days up going, and you can get 30 to 35 days. Like they're usually pretty quick. And I have a whole bunch of radishes, and those are direct sow. Yep, I'm gonna have and I got, matter of fact, today I'm pushing purchase on my I have a polytunnel that's a little bit bigger than my greenhouse here that I'm gonna be setting up in my garden, along with my smaller tunnels as well too. And in that polytunnel, we're absolutely gonna have a whole bunch of radishes. I've got a ton that we're gonna be doing. So yeah, absolutely. Good question. Yep. All right. Oh, look, please, if you haven't done this today, I would really, hopefully I earn your subscription today. I definitely love it and appreciate it. You guys have been great. This has been good chat. You guys have been fantastic in the chat today. You're always good, but man, you guys have just been hammering questions today. Yeah, no, trust me, I'm laughing about that. We got folks cracking jokes here. And so I had one of my kids was watching the one day, and we had folks that were, cracking the jokes about, Red Rocket, what they was talking there, and they're like, "Doesn't that bother you?" And I have to remind them, like, I'm OG, like I'm one of the originals on the internet. I grew up on the internet, and we were trolling everybody. If I have this stuff going on, and if I'm on a stream and people aren't cracking some sort of crash joke, if I don't have weed comments coming on here, if I don't have some sort of harassment, I start losing faith in the youths right now, because they should be on here talking a little crap. Like, they should be doing that. It's like, kids doing silly stuff. You're supposed to do it. It's all right. Okay, so so right now this is our, let me see if where's the cover at here? What did I do with it? Oh, here we go. So these are this is from that Organo Republic pack I was talking about earlier. So these are short day onions. It's red burgundy, not Ron Burgundy, red burgundy, right? And these are short day onions. Okay, yeah, exactly. And so these are when your onions are going to fall in those two different types, your bulb type onions, long day and short day. And it literally means what the words say, short day. These do well when the days are shorter. Like, that's one of the things as far as them getting established. But this takes a little longer to mature. It's just that type than our long day onions, which we're going to look at in a second, which are for longer days, right? Which we have up here in Michigan. So I start them both, and they both do okay. But the long day onions really do well in this climate because, when we have the sun's up at 5 o'clock and it doesn't set till 10, that's an awful lot of time. And the thing with onions, guys, is that, and to show you, onions are a little different than other plants. They have to absorb a certain amount of sunlight. Like, they're just building up the stockpile, they're building up the reservoir, they're growing. So you can start them whenever and they'll just grow. But they're just building up. When they get to a certain point, they start taking off. Like, these guys have doubled in a week because they've started getting more sun, right? More the sun switched. Now we're getting longer days. They immediately took off. Okay, and that's just one thing just to keep in mind, that you can start your onions whenever, and they'll just kind of do their thing and go along. And then when it's hey, we're ready, we built momentum, boom, they're off to the races. Okay, so anyways, these are the short day onions. Short day onions, and they're all just, I've got a whole bunch are really starting to pop up now. So this whole thing is going to be filled. Now here's the thing with onions. On the pack, it's going to tell you that there's spacing involved and things that you want to. Now these are practice onions, just FYI. These are the ones that are going in my garden. One of the things that to keep in mind here is that onions like to bunch. They do really good when they're all hanging out together, especially when they're young. So you can get them together, and actually I can show you some over here that I've got that are kind of bunched to show you what I mean. And it's okay. They're fine with it. They do just great. And what you do with it is just let them all go. And when they get to the certain size, they're ready to transplant out into direct transplant out into the that one place. It's a place. Why can't I think of the place name? The garden. Yeah, you just do this right here. So here's some. Let me grab this guy. I think this guy's probably gonna be better. We'll find out. Let's do this together. We're doing this real time. I didn't plan for this at all, but since I'm talking about it, we got these here. So we have these onions here. Let me get my tray back though. I don't like to waste potting soil if I can. So you can see all of these onions are in there together, right? Just kind of crammed in there. So let's say we're going to transplant these. Let's just get all that soil off of there, right? And you're going to see, oop, one already popped out. So I got one ready to go. Shake the other leaves off and see how they're just kind of together. You can just, sweet, there's another one. The roots don't stick together. So you can get a whole bunch started in a small space, and now I've got, what, 5 onions that are like ready to go. Okay, so that's what I mean. So when you have that, guys, that's like the one time when especially when you're in here, you know you're gonna be transplanting, load the thing up. Just load it up. You can pick the best ones out of it and then transplant them, okay? So, oh, this smells so good, guys. Oh my goodness, that smells good. We'll just pop that over here. Chickens are gonna get some onions. So hopefully that made sense to everybody, right? Of why we're not worried about them being all compacted and everything. So yeah, transplant for the win for sure. And it takes forever. Radishes, yeah, exactly. Radishes are great. So whoops. Yeah, so yeah, on my onions too. I have deep, there's some deep mulching that I do, but I use my my broad fork to really loosen up the soil, and I come in around consistently, and I'm constantly loosening the soil up around my onions when they're in. Really want everything just kind of going. Up next we've got, as we're just talking about stuff here, just an update. Here's my basil. Basil over here doing its thing. Oh, hey, C. Jackson, welcome. Good to have you on here. Hey, do me a favor, just a reminder for everyone, when you hop in the chat, let us know where you're from. I'm up here in Northern Michigan. My name's Ryan. We got folks from all over that are doing the thing. If you don't want to hop in the chat, just give me a thumbs up. And hopefully earn your subscription today. So, Oakley, man. Oh, hey, thank you. Is it the mustache? Is that what you're saying? Now that I've gotten rid of the beard and just got the mustache, or is it because all of my tan's gone? Because we haven't seen the sun in like months here. But I appreciate that. Hey, heck yeah, yeah, absolutely. What part of Michigan you're from? I'm up near Ludington. So here's our basil. All right, it's doing its thing. So everything's germinated now, and most part that's germinated. And so it's off of its warming mat. So it's just kind of doing its thing, and I'm just letting it just kind of grow. So here's the thing with the basil, specifically. Most of this, and I've got this in this tall dome here, specifically because I'm down in Detroit. Awesome. So we'll talk about the onions in a second when I get to my long days here. That's a good question. I'll come back to that. So one of the things with my basil, specifically when I'm doing these type of herbs, I like them in these taller, again, these 4-inch tall domes that have the little vents on here. So what I can do is really just kind of manage the moisture level and the heat, but also I don't have to worry about transplanting them because I want these to grow up to a certain height. Some of them are going to end up in the, going to move into other containers so I can get a head start on growing the basil bush out. Others are going to be dried immediately. Some are fresh, right? So it just kind of varies. I just keep them going. So, all right, got Hopkinsville, Detroit. Awesome. All right, so for onions, let me grab my long day onions. So I've got red burgundy that we're doing. I have bunching onions, which are just for my Asian cooking that I do. I lived in Japan for 3 years. So I like to do ramen and a lot of Asian cooking. So always try to have some bunching onions around. All right, and now again, these are from the so with your basil, just grab some regular potting soil. It's a pretty simple herb just to have in there. And honestly, as soon as you get to your leaves, your second set of real leaves, transplant them at that point. You'll be fine. So these are the second set of onions we have going. These are long day onions. This is, like we talked about, long day means for longer days. So it's definitely up here in Michigan as we have those, you know, sun's up at 5, sets at 10, that type of stuff. These are a long day, and this is sweet Spanish, right? If I remember, yeah, yellow sweet Spanish that they have here. That's what's growing here, okay? And then one of the things to keep in mind here too is that, trying to think here, that with the onions, if you haven't started your onions now, especially up here, if you're in the northern tier like I am, you need to get them started. It just makes everything easier, and you're gonna have a better, much better yield with them. You'll get that much larger, the bulb and everything, because again, like I said, they need time to do their thing. Okay. And these ones take a little bit to germinate, but they are finally starting to pop up a little bit. I got one right here. This is not an onion. I want to see what it is. Some sort of random seed found its way in there, but I am getting them popping up now. They are starting to germinate, which is good. And they do take time, but once they go, they go. And the same thing, I've got these onions in this, in here specifically, so that way I don't have to worry about moving them around. They can grow up nice and tall in here until they're ready to make their transition over there. So from Hawaii, aloha. I lived in Pearl City for 2.5 years. Actually, I lived on Hickam, but you know, we spent most of our time in Pearl City. I miss Hawaii, especially on days like today where it's cold and snowy and yuck. So, for the onions, that was on January 6th. I always write down when they're on the top of the lid when I did them. I think it was January 6th. So, 5 days ago. What's today's the 11th? Give or take, I think. What is today? Yeah, the 11th. So, yeah, gardening is so great. I definitely appreciate everybody's on there. So, aloha from Hawaii. It's so great to have you on here. Army, yeah, I was, you got 6A in here. I'm just checking up on the chat. Yeah, oh, hey, Rose. Good to have you on here. Welcome. Yeah, I was in the Air Force is what I was at. I was in the Air Force for about 21 years. So, and my last duty station was in Hawaii at Hickam Field. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna look at here is going to be, and then we're going to get into transplant. I got to transplant our mystery bush that we have here that we got from. That's your first clue. It's a mystery bush from the continent. So let me check something here real quick. Yep, we're good. So, and again, one of the things that carrots, I hate starting carrots in like this, but you know, they're doing pretty well. They're getting started. They're always a pain to kind of get them rolling, but once they get going, they'll be good. Let me just adjust this, make sure we got the moisture level right here. Put some of that humidity out. And then the last one, which I think you guys have been patiently waiting for, are going to be our beets. We have folks on there who have been talking about our beetroot. By the way, these are terrible lights. Terrible. Never get them, folks. Oh my gosh, are they bad. They melt as soon as the LEDs melt as soon as they touch water. It's really weird. Don't like it. Not a big fan. Some poppy. Poppy grows wild around here, but not the type of poppy you're probably thinking of. All right, so in this last one here, these are my Detroit Reds, and they're just getting started. You got our early folks are popping, but these are Detroit Red beets. These are beetroots that are coming up here. And I love growing these. Right now, I'm going to direct sow a bunch this year. As soon as I have the tunnels up and I'm able to work the soil, I'm going to get some in the ground and get them going. But we do a ton of, we love beets around here. My neighbors asked for it. The redhead wants some more. And I think I have, I don't know, probably enough to do 500 this year. We're going to be doing a ton. So it's going to be great. Going to be great. All right, so let's get this guy back down there. And now we can get started on, yeah, so I have a video on these. If you want to go check this out so you'll never ever buy these, you go to my page, you'll go see it, and you'll see them like this, right? Go check it out. And you can avoid these things like the plague. These are terrible, like terrible lights. Don't like them. I got to order some different ones. But they've been bought, so I'm going to use them till they're done. And honestly, I just need them for like 6 weeks until we start seeing the sun again. Where I'm at in Michigan, again, for the state, right? I live over here. So Lake Michigan is over here, and the prevailing wind is always going this direction. So what we end up with is this cloud bank because of like the lake right there. It's nice and warm and moist, comparatively speaking. So it makes this cloud bank that just rolls right over the top of us in where I live until like mid-February to the end of February. It's always gloomy here. So yeah, this is what we're dealing with. Is what it is. Oh, cool. Awesome, Eric. Hey, yeah, awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that. No, we are going to be starting some flowers. I normally don't start my flowers until, kind of varies around here, but it's gonna be end of March probably is when I'll get my flowers started. And we're gonna do a whole bunch of marigolds. I got pansies, petunias, cleomes. We got some hollyhock. Yeah, we got a bunch. Got a whole bunch we're gonna be starting. So yeah, we're gonna be doing flowers on this channel as well too. I like to have flowers everywhere. We love to make sure that our our pollinators, we will have them coming in and give them, invite them in with some flowers and then have them stay to take care of the plants. So, okay. So, well, Garden State, love that. New Jersey. New Jersey is so sneaky gorgeous. I love that state. I visited it a couple times. I was like, man, this is gorgeous here. Love it. All right, so time for our mystery plant here. Are you guys familiar with the candy Swedish fish? Right, the little red thing in the yellow package, Swedish fish. They are, oh, New Orleans, yeah, San Diego. Even I taught in San Diego, right at the anti-submarine warfare center right across the street from the airport. I'd literally get off leave the airport, walk across the street, and go hang out by the dolphins, and then do my teaching over there right across the street. And then New Orleans, I was just there for my anniversary last month. Love New Orleans. Okay, so Swedish fish. The flavor of Swedish fish is something called linganberry. This is a linganberry bush. We are able to get it. We serve at our coffee shop, stateandmain.coffee, if you want to go check it out. We serve cream cheese danishes that are topped with linganberry preserves, that we source from, basically, again, we source from the north. And we want to start growing our own lingonberries, just kind of have them around. I think they're neat to have. So we went ahead and sourced it, and I will be getting after this right here. This is lingonberry, okay? So we are going to transplant this guy, fresh it up a little bit. I want to check out the roots as well. So this is, yeah, they're pretty cool. They're tasty too. If you can get that lingonberry preserve, I think you'll really like it. They're very much like a cranberry, just not as tart. Like, I guess that's the best way to say it. So this was shipped to us, and I got to get this. I meant to get it yesterday. It showed up on Friday. I didn't grab it yesterday. And I just want to get this out. So let me make sure you guys can see what's going on here. You can order them off of Amazon. You can get the preserves off of Amazon. They're really good, or you can just get Swedish fish, and you're pretty darn close too. Everyone loves Swedish fish, and they're done by lingonberries. Okay, so one of the things that I do, and I buy plants on my trees that I've purchased. I've purchased them from online. I've actually gotten them. Snow just fell off the roof. Okay. Yep. Lingonberry. 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 Just, man, it's crazy. Every time I have to spell something, I go back to like I'm third grade spelling bee. Say the word, spell the word, say the word. Like, anyways. Yeah, it's lingonberry. Linga. Yep. So the lingonberry here, anytime you get these, right, and they ship them, this is dormant. Like, you can hear it. crunchy, right? It's dormant right now, but you still need to get it and and give it an inspection and check it out just to make sure that you don't have any issues with the we're going to look at it. So these are a rhizome. Is the way that they propagate. So we're going to get this. I'm going to start next year. We're going to clone this guy. And after that, we're going to clone all the clones, and we're going to just linganberry this place up. And hopefully in 10 years, we're just going to have a whole bunch of linganberry bushes all over the place, making all sorts of goodness. But the biggest thing is you've got to get this guy out of whatever it was packaged in and get it into something fresh and new. Very important to know what type of soil type that they like. Now, in this area, it's nice, it's loamy for the most part that they want to have. But I'm going to put it in some just regular potting soil for right now. And I will make up a special mix for it once we get a little bit warmer in the season to make sure that the acidity, I don't think it needs too much in the way of acidity. We're going to research everything, and I'm going to build the soil type up for it just to make sure it's good. But that's really important because not everything obviously grows in the same stuff, right? Oh gosh, bamboo. Yeah. Bamboo. That's just importing like the worst weed ever into your life. Oh my goodness, yeah. Okay. And there's good nurseries, by the way. If you're looking for any like specialty trees or anything, you can always order online. I've ordered a few trees from, I think it's Thai Nursery. I've had good success with them. So, just stuff I have, matter of fact, I ordered my pawpaw trees from them. I got to get another pawpaw tree. I had one of mine, didn't make it. It happens anytime that you're doing these things. It does happen. But anyways, I had my pawpaw tree. If you guys don't know what pawpaw is, it's an American fruit that's out there. It's like a banana and custard flavor. And they're native to a little bit south of here, but there are pawpaw trees that are around the area. They're very sporadic. So I'm just gonna be growing them. So, oh yeah, and bamboo definitely spreads fast. So first things first, we're just gonna take a look at the plant here. It's not gonna hurt it any. It's dormant when you get it. Also, man, this is really, really moist. Okay, so let's take a look at the soil. So what they've got some nice dark loamy soil, and they've got mulch in there too, so that's interesting. I just want to kind of see what we got for root structure in here. Now, one of the things that again, we don't want to abuse it too much here, but it never really hurts these guys too much to go in and just kind of break them up a little bit, because I just want to see what the overall root structure looks like, because it's been living inside this container for a minute. Oh, come on now. We don't need to be talking like that, guys. No need for that in the chat. I know you're trying to be funny, but that's just, we can be funny, but you don't need to be that crass, okay? Come on, guys. All right. So we can see nice little loose set of the root structure here. Kind of hard for you guys to see. I don't want to pull everything off there, but I do want to loosen them up, right? For all the reasons when you get it. So just like we had with our other, like we were doing with our seedlings here, one of the things that I want you to do is we're also checking to see if I have any roots that have started being root bound, right? So that's why we just want to kind of make sure we come and loosen these up. Again, when you have anything that's root bound, specifically on trees like this, right, they're going to be growing for a minute in bushes. We don't want any roots that are wrapping around this way, because it's going to strangle the plant as it grows. Okay, so we're just going to kind of loosen them up and just run our fingers down. And this is perfectly fine. Talk to an arborist about this, as a matter of fact. And he said one of the best things you can do is really just take your time, make sure everything's loosened up, especially if it's been in a container. Right, we're going to put all the stuff back in there with it, because, there's still some goodness in here that we want to have. But just go ahead and make sure, especially around the top, that we don't have any roots that are wrapping there. No figs. I don't grow any of those. Yep. And by the way, guys, this step is not guaranteed. This guy could still die tomorrow, but we're going to give it the best chance that we can to get going. Okay, and that's the idea. So we're just looking at it. Looks like I got everybody kind of take care of. So now, right. And so here's another great chance for us to learn a little bit more on this, guys. Do you see how, again, all of that dirt and soil, right, is sticking to the roots? Okay, you guys can see that, right? So when you're dealing with this, one of the things is to keep in mind, what's great about why we want trees growing, we want to have stuff planted, they're putting out like a glue that's on with the smaller roots, like down here. They're finer hairs and everything. They grab a hold, but there's a glue that goes on too that helps the soil to adhere. And in that soil where it adheres is where the microbes, your microbiome sets up. And it's where all the trading happens, right? Where the microbes are breaking apart minerals and trading for sugars and all the stuff. That's where all that stuff's happening. Okay. Where every time you see one of those big old balls or whatever, there's a little microbiome in there living its stuff. All right, so let's go into here. So we're going to get this guy in here, and we're going to use our regular potting soil, the mix that we have. I think it's going to be, I'm going to double check on the acidity, which I can take care of. It's not going to be a big problem, but I don't see any issues there. So we want to get this down in there a little bit. I want this guy near the top, but not all the way. Let's put more of your goodness in here. We're going to kind of compress stuff down just a little bit to make sure it's nice and firm. And I'm going to leave all of these like these, you can see where it's starting to try to come back just a little bit. But I'm going to add some more water to it, just give it a good, good soaking. And it's just going to live here in the greenhouse, until spring, until I don't have to worry about, actually well past the frost, to be quite honest. So this is the other part here, guys, so just keep this in mind. So we've got it in, right? So we've got the crown, this area right here. We want the crown to be up just a little bit, but not too much. And then we just want to give everything a nice firm push. Right? So see that right there? You guys can see, I just gave it a light push, and how far my finger went in. We want to make sure that that is compressed down. Not super firm, but that was air pockets that were there, okay? So we're just going to give it a little bit here, and just do it a couple more times, just to make sure we've got this thing in here as well as we can. Add a little bit more around here. There's that. And then we're just going to juice our linganberry up. Give it some water. Just give it a good soaking. Let it do its thing. I want to see what my drainage is like. This is going to absorb some. It's also going to drain, which is fine. Okay. I can hear everything wicking. That's good. And I say, don't rush this, guys. This is the one thing you just want to take your time with. Make sure you're taking your time with it. And let it just kind of do its thing. Cool. That's in a good spot. Yeah. And that's really it. Now, you can, if you want, you can take some compost or some mulch and just put it on top of here to help keep from the, to help protect the soil, right? Which I will do. I've got to go grab some of my compost. Just put it around here so that way it's not wicking, right? Because all of this is going to have the moisture wicking off here. I mean, I'm going to be in here basically every day watering regardless, but I'm going to cover it up anyways. One of my things I always try to do whenever I'm doing these transplants. Just make sure I've got it where they're wicking. There you go. There we go, guys. We got good drainage. Cool. That's what we want to see. Okay. Now what's going to happen is the cocoa coir that's in here, along with the, the potting soil to some level, it's going to be taking that water and holding on to it and helping to keep that water being directed right where it needs to go. Cool. All right, linganberry. Welcome to the party. Good to have you here, buddy. Yeah, we were cracking a joke earlier. So yeah, that's a little transplant, guys. Easy peasy. Does that make sense to everybody? We just take our time. And again, big steps on that. We're going to take our time. We're going to look at that. We want to get as much of the soil, not all of it. We want to get the soil out there. We want to loosen those roots up as much as possible. And we're looking for anything that's wrapping. If you do those steps, you have a better than average chance for your, for your new plant to survive, especially on your bushes and your trees, for sure. Okay. So appreciate that. Appreciate that, guys. Okay. Hopefully, and again, I'm really hoping that was helpful for y'all. A lot of folks did. And I remember when I first heard that about the tree, looking for that root wrapping, I couldn't believe that isn't like taught first thing. Like, hey, you want to keep an eye out that. So good. Awesome, everybody. Good, good, good. All right, so I'm gonna put this back in here. I'm gonna dump all this in, just get this water out of here. Get in with that. We're gonna transplant a few more here, folks. So again, welcome everybody. If you haven't been here before, my name is Ryan. I'm here in Northern Michigan. We are working in my Northern Michigan greenhouse, and we're transplanting lettuce today. Ooh, lettuce, right? But we're learning about other stuff too. Same principles apply no matter what you're doing. Just kind of the deal. So hopefully I earn your subscription today. And if I haven't earned your subscription yet, please hit the thumbs up button. It helps the algorithm, gets me in front of some more folks. You know, so yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. All right, lettuce. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do one different here. I want to get two. We're gonna do two of my Swiss chard. I'm gonna cheat a little bit, get out in front on a couple of these Swiss chard because I really just want Swiss chard. I do. So we're gonna get same principle here, guys. We got one here. We're gonna do two at once. Start double fisting these a little bit. Okay, so we got that. Let me, where's my tool at? It's over here. Oh, you're very welcome. I'm glad the tips are helping. And again, these aren't guarantees. Like I said, I could do everything right and all these plants could still die. You know, it's just part of the deal. But you know, it is what it is. I'll just bring it up here. Here we go. Out of the way, lettuce. We'll just drop it right here so you guys kind of see me. Yeah, Swiss chard is so good. It's like when folks haven't grown it like fresh in the house, you know, haven't had it fresh and don't realize what they're missing out on, man, do I feel bad for them. Okay, so same thing. We're just gonna, again, loosely press this down, give us a little hole in the middle there because we are gonna have some stuff here. That's, you know, I'm gonna get this guy here. It's got a bunch growing. And then we're gonna use another tool here and thin this out. Oh, hey, Connie. Welcome back. Connie, you've been on here before. Welcome back. Good to see you. Sounds down in the low country. Yeah, that's on our list to go visit for an anniversary trip. Loves. We were in Charleston, actually, we were down in Charleston. Love that. I love there. We want to look at some other places around there. It's just such a nice spot. Everybody's so friendly. Food is okay too. Wink. It's really good. So, okay. So with that, what I want to show you is this, the other tool that it comes with here. One of those other tools that we had, right, for pruning. I only want one of these in here, right, because we don't want any competition going on, which they have right now. So we're going to thin this out. And here's what I'm going to do. You see this tall guy? I don't want the tall guy. So that guy's gone. And those little buddies that are with him, that one's gone. Those are gone. And I don't want this one off to the here. And I'll show you why. Oh no. Oh no. I think they both went. Oh no, I had one rip. Well, never mind. See, do everything right and it still doesn't work out. Okay, the reason I didn't want to have that one is because the seed on that one that was the far right was all the way at the top, and it had all the loose stuff there. So okay, try again, guys. That guy needs to go. Yeah, Charleston's so nice. A lot of history. A lot of history in that joint. Okay, so again, we're gonna get these down around here, pack it around. We're gonna try this again, guys. We're gonna make decisions. All right, I want this little guy. So everybody but this one is gonna go. So we're just gonna come in, and that's why I like this pack. Like, these are really good. Let me get in there and just kind of do my thing. So that guy, and one of the things we're gonna do is a comparison now that this one's living its best life in here with all this extra space. And we'll compare it to kind of how it grows versus them. Okay, so we're gonna have two of them. Because like I said, I want to get the Swiss chard kind of going. So same thing. We are just gonna take this over here, loosely pack this in, kind of make a little pocket for this thing to drop into. And then, by the way, another reason that I'm buying one of these every year as far as this pack, because it comes with these tools. This thing ends up being like a rust bucket pretty quick because I'm using it in here, and I'm treating it like a tool that's meant to be used in a wet environment like this. It's gonna be rode hard, put up wet, that type of stuff. I lived in Texas for a while, so I've picked up pretty much every silly saying you can think of around the country. Come on. Oh, you do not want to give up. This one might not be salvageable. These guys kind of hooked into the side. Yeah, well, maybe. We'll give it a go. I think we'll be okay. We will find out. If not, no worries. This is why we plant a bunch, because we don't know. Not every transplant goes well. It's part of the deal. You want to give it a best opportunity to be successful. You know what I mean? Okay, there we go. There's our other Swiss chard. Cool. All right, we're going to do one more lettuce here, guys. Got one more left for the day. And I got to go, and I've got work I got to do. I'm coding some applications at the moment for a client. So I'm in the middle of Claude code action going on, but I want, obviously coming out here, want to hang out with you guys. But, I do have that other work thing going on. Ugh. Something, paying the bills, All right. So again, today, just again, things that we remember on here, folks, is that when it comes to your transplanting, it's, the reason that we do it early and we do it in all of these cells is that way gives us the best chance to make sure that the strongest ones are going to perform and make it into the garden. We're extending our growing season, but we have to have a plan to move them from these cells into larger pots as quick as possible, because when they're in here, they're getting strangled a little bit because they're competing for space and resources and everything. But frankly, they're just not meant to grow in 1 inch cells. They want to be in a larger area, because you see they're putting out all their roots, doing their thing. They're trying to grow, and they keep running into the side of the container. Okay, so as soon as we can, as soon as you have basically what the rule of thumb is, when you have the first real leaf is out, that's when you want to do your transplant. Like, that's really what it comes down to. You got your first leaf, real leaf there, not the one that comes out with the seed, right, where it's seedling, or where it's germinating. We want to get where it's seedling, which is now it's moved into that first set of real leaves, and go from there. Okay, and then just plant it in and let it live its best life. There's that. So we're just going to give these guys a quick little bit of juice here, make them good, and then I'm going to fill up this tray with water, so they can be bottom watered, and they're going to soak up all this pretty quick. You can take that to the bank. Same thing here. These guys are good. All right, cool. All right, guys, that's what we got for today. Thanks for hanging out. It was good to see everybody here. Great conversation in the chat, folks. You give yourselves all sorts of high fives and goodness for really good talk in the chat today. Very supportive. You guys were fantastic. It's my favorite part about the chat. You guys are just looking out for each other. So with that, hopefully I earned your subscription today. Again, I come here live in the greenhouse, out in the garden, out and around the house, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So you can check me out. I also do some long form videos and have that going on as well. So with that, take care. We'll see you next time.